Imo State. Last week, while visiting Owerri, I was standing by my hotel room window, admiring the early morning crowd, when I noticed a woman carrying food on her head. As she ran across the street, some of the wrapped food fell down on the middle of the street. She picked them up and put them back in her tray. And the second wrapped food she kicked with her feet across the street to avoid it from being run over by a car. Then she picked it up and put it back in the tray. The first thing I thought was, what a world. How can it be? How can someone pick up food that was just falling in the middle of the street and continue to sell it to the general public to eat? First, no one is aware of the kind of environment the food was prepared. Was it hygienic or not? Now, in spite of the likelihood of bacteria and other contaminants attaching themselves to packages, the food is being sold to you and I, and no one cares. Second, the general public is exposed to harmful food, and that's properly accepted. This is all in the name of an attempt at survival and making money. This, in my opinion, is the tip of the iceberg. Every day we are engaging in actions that jeopardize our health, violate one another, and equally violate the law. And when we are not contributing to our own pain and suffering, we are exploiting one another, and our government fails to see its role in ushering decency, fairness, and easing the pain and suffering of our people. During my stay, I was made aware of an accident that occurred in Nekede. A keke driver with 3 young men had slowed down to avoid big potholes and was hit from behind, instantly bringing death to 3 male passengers. To be honest, I was concerned about safety when I realized motorcycles were being used for public transportation. But I also realized that these young men have to make a living. Then came the 3-footed keke, which I also believe is unsafe for public transportation. And I'm not the only one that holds this view. I do not know whose idea this was in the first place, and how our government allowed this means of transportation to be used. But if I have a chance or opportunity to make decisions in the state, I will slowly phase them out from our streets while quickly retraining our young men, some of them university graduates, and offering them meaningful and lasting opportunities and careers. Also on this trip, I met a young girl who looked like she's between the age of 17 and 19. She was carrying a tray of plantain and selling it on the streets of Owerri. Curiosity led me to talk to her. During our short engagement, she told me she travels daily from Amadi to sell the plantain, and that she could make over 1,000 naira daily. I could not help but wonder the risk she daily exposes herself to. Given the bad roads, she could easily become a victim of a car accident, kidnapped for any purpose. And I wonder how many times she has been sexually molested on the streets. I wonder why any family would choose to send out such a young girl to the well-known uncertainties of the streets. And my heart weeps for her and our society. I wonder how many other children are in her shoes. And the answers to such dilemma flood my mind, and I keep wondering if any one of these so-called leaders are sharing my views. Then I came across a university student who informed me about how they read with kerosene lamps, sometimes hungry, worried about their rents and other basic needs. They also informed me about how they could sort out their professors with money and sex, a form of exchange for better grades. Again, I wonder how young men and women, the future of society, could be struggling so harshly when they should be most concerned with obtaining real and decent education. And I also wonder why these teachers or professors who are entrusted with the responsibility of educating our future leaders could be so indifferent as to expose them to so early to corrupting influences with impunity. I wonder the quality of education they are receiving since they are now buying these grades. And as I travel further around the state, I witnessed and heard shocking and sad stories of human degeneration, pain, and suffering. I witnessed villages and compounds so suddenly flooded, men and women struggling just to stay alive. Sometimes I wish it was just another dream, that I would wake up from the nightmare, but nothing could assist me but to deny the facts. These and so much more are what we are confronting daily in Imo State. I know we have had government the past 2 decades, but what I do not know is what they have done with all the federal allocations and local revenue that reached their hands. I guess they never understood their role and responsibility toward the general population. Government and leadership are not opportunities for showmanship and ego tripping. They are not means or rather instruments at the hands of a few to suppress opposition and select those they consider as enemies. They are serious concerns and problems to be sufficiently addressed, solutions to be found for every human problem. Progress must be measured by the number of lives saved, the quality of lives improved. Our government must rise up and embrace these fundamental truths or vacate its position as duly elected for the people. It cannot conceal its decades of apathy and self-serving because it's all written boldly on the face of our people. Our poverty, in my opinion, is preventable, is imposed, and regrettable. We have enough resources or can raise enough resources to ensure economic justice and equity. Our people need not live the kind of lives they are living daily. While I continue to say it is too early to blame the current state and national leaders, I will not hesitate to advise our Imo State Governor to take serious stock of the state monthly financial obligations, ensure that all state employees, pensioners, contractors are regularly paid, ensure roads and all other existing infrastructure are repaired, like schools, set aside reasonable sums for emergency expenditure, funds that should be enough for 6 to 1 year of state operations before embarking on any new major projects. Thank you, my people. Keep hope alive. Change will inevitably come. Remain blessed, for no one will control your destiny. Time will come. And I also came across a man that I was told had lived in a gas shack with his wife until the day she had a baby. All these situations are deplorable situations that cannot be allowed to persist. So much has to be done for our people in Imo State. From the marginalization we've experienced for decades, we cannot take nothing for granted, as so many of our leaders have done the past 3 decades. There's the need for our leaders in this state and especially in this region to accept the responsibility to lift up their fellow men and women and give them equal playing field with the rest of the region. Thank you, and may God bless you.